It still moved into the old house. I was renting it for cheap, and the landlord seemed oddly eager to sign the deal. The house itself was fine, quaint even, but the mirror in the upstairs hallway unnerved me. It wasn't the way it looked. It was just a plain, full-length mirror in an antique frame. What bothered me was its placement, bolted into the wall at an odd angle, facing a door that wouldn't open. I tried the door every day, jiggling the knob, pushing, even kicking it. Nothing worked. The landlord claimed it was just an old closet sealed shut because of damage. One night, I was brushing my teeth when I noticed something in the mirror. It was subtle at first, like a ripple across its surface. I stood there, staring. Slowly, a shadow emerged, not behind me, but within the mirror. It moved like it was walking, but its movements were jerky and wrong, as though it was trying to mimic human motion. I spun around. The hallway was empty, but when I looked back, the shadow was closer, its face pressed against the other side of the glass. It wasn't a face, not really, just hollow eyes and a too-wide grin. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called the landlord and demanded he explain the door. He sighed and muttered something about not stirring things up. I threatened to break the lease. That's when he told me, do not touch the mirror, do not touch the door. Just leave it alone. I didn't listen. That night the shadow was back, but it wasn't alone. There were more figures, tall, thin things with blank faces. They swayed in unison, staring at me. Then they turned all at once and looked at the door. I don't know why I did it. Maybe it was the way they moved, or maybe I just needed answers. I grabbed a hammer and started smashing at the frame of the mirror, trying to pry it off the wall. But as soon as the glass cracked, I heard it, a deep, guttural thud from behind the door. It opened. The smell hit me first, like rot and dirt. The figures from the mirror stepped out, their bodies wrong, bending at impossible angles. They didn't walk. They flowed toward me. I dropped the hammer and ran, but not before one of them whispered something that froze my blood. We've been waiting for you. The last thing I saw before I fled the house was the mirror repairing itself. The crack, sealing, like it had never been touched. The landlord hasn't answered my calls, and now, no matter where I go, I see the figures in every reflection, always closer, always smiling.